Molly the mola mola, floating so light, glides through the ocean as day turns to night. The sun dips low, the sea turns blue. Molly swims on with nothing to do. She meets Sammy the seahorse, swaying in the tide. With a gentle yawn, he drifts to the side. "Good night, dear Sammy," Molly says with care, as bubbles float up in the cool ocean air. Next, she sees Luna the lobster, resting on a reef, tucked in her shell, she's falling asleep. "Good night, dear Luna," Molly softly hums as the ocean whispers and the soft wave hums. Finally, Molly finds a quiet place to stay, where the moonlight dances and the fish gently sway. "Good night, dear ocean," Molly whispers slow, and she drifts to sleep in the gentle sea's glow. Charlie the chipmunk, small and spry, built a cozy home beneath the sky. He gathered nuts and leaves with care to make us a bed that's soft and fair. The moon came out, the stars did shine. Charlie peeked out from his pine. "Good night, little stars," he whispered low. "Time for dreams where wonders grow." He scampered to his squirrel friend Sam. "Good night, my friend," said Charlie. Bam! Sam yawned and waved a sleepy paw, then curled up close without a flaw. Next came Robin, in her nest, fluffing feathers, ready for rest. "Good night, dear Robin," Charlie said, as she nestled down in her leafy bed. Charlie yawned and blinked his eyes. The forest hummed with lullabies. He curled up in his hideaway and drifted to dream of another day. Leo the lion, bold and brave, stretched his paws in his nighttime cave. The stars above began to shine as Leo whispered, "This land is mine." He padded softly through the grass, the moonlight shining as he passed. "Good night, dear hyena," Leo said, as Hyena yawned and went to bed. Next, he saw the mighty giraffe, standing tall with a sleepy laugh. "Good night, Giraffe," Leo softly roared, as Giraffe bent down and gently snored. Through the trees, he found a cheetah, resting after a swift run meter. "Good night, dear cheetah," Leo said with pride, as Cheetah curled up by Leo's side. The jungle hummed with soft good nights, as Leo looked up to the twinkling lights. He found his den, laid down to rest, and drifted off, for dreams are best. Jelly! The jellyfish swam through the sea, glowing softly, wild and free. The ocean sparkled under the moon's light. It was time for dreams deep in the night. She drifted past the coral's glow, where sleepy fish were resting below. "Good night, dear fish," Jelly whispered soft, as she floated quietly, drifting aloft. Next, she met Willa, the great blue whale, whose gentle song hummed through the sail. "Good night, dear Willa," Jelly said with a gleam, as Willa swam off to her ocean dream. Through the waves, she found a dolphin or two, spinning and dreaming under skies so blue. "Good night, dear dolphins," Jelly whispered low, as they twirled in sleep with a peaceful glow. With her friends asleep, so still and bright, Jelly smiled and said, "Good night, good night." She floated down to the ocean deep and gently swayed herself to sleep. Luna the fox, with fur soft and red, nestled herself in her forest bed. The stars above began to glow as Luna whispered, "To dreamland I'll go." She wandered the woods where fireflies gleam. Their tiny lights made Luna beam. "Good night, dear firefly," she said with grace, as they lit up the forest, a magical place. Next, she met Hedgehog, so cozy and snug, curled up tight with a sleepy hug. "Good night, little hedgehog," Luna did say, as he drifted to sleep at the end of the day. Then she found Squirrel, high in the trees. "Good night, little friend," said Luna with ease. Squirrel yawned and tucked in tight, ready to sleep through the calm, quiet night. With all her friends asleep, just so, Luna sighed, "It's time to go." She curled up close beneath the moon's glow and drifted to sleep as the night winds blow. Toby the tiger, strong and bright, roamed the jungle in the fading light. The sky turned pink, then a starry blue. It was time for sleep. The day was through. He met Ellie the elephant, big and round. With a gentle yawn, she lay on the ground. "Good night, dear Ellie," Toby purred, as the jungle slowly hushed and stirred. Next, he saw Zara the zebra, fast asleep, curled in a bed of grass, soft and deep. "Good night, dear Zara," Toby said, as stars sparkled in the sky overhead. Finally, Toby found his own resting spot, a soft, warm patch that he loved a lot. "Good night, dear jungle," Toby sighed, and he curled up, dreaming, eyes open wide. Penny the panda, soft and sweet, wandered the forest on her little feet. The stars above began to glow, and Penny whispered, "Good night, hello." She met Ollie the owl, perched in a tree. His eyes were sleepy, blinking softly. "Good night, dear Ollie," Penny said with a grin, as Ollie fluffed his feathers and tucked himself in. Next, she found Robbie the rabbit, hopping fast. Through the meadow, he hurried past. "Good night, dear Robbie," Penny called out, as Robbie waved with a sleepy shout. At last, she found her cozy spot, a big leafy tree, her favorite lot. "Good night, dear moon. Good night, dear star." She yawned and snuggled in, dreams not far. In the quiet woods, beneath the moon's soft light, Rocky the raccoon stayed awake through the night. His eyes twinkled bright, and his paws moved slow as he wandered the forest where shadows grow. By the river's edge, he saw a gentle gleam, a firefly stuck, unable to beam. With careful paws, he set it free. The firefly flickered, glowing happily. "Thank you, Rocky. I've lost my way. Will you guide me home by the break of day?" Together, they walked through the forest deep. With the firefly's light, they had no need to sleep. At last, they arrived at a tree so tall, where the firefly's home was hidden from all. "Good night, my friend. You've helped me so." Rocky smiled and waved, his face aglow. Back to his den, Rocky softly crept, where he curled in his bed and quietly slept. With stars above and the moon so high, Rocky dreamed of adventures beneath the sky. Deep in the ocean, where the waters glow, lived all of the octopus, moving soft and slow. With 8 bright arms and a curious mind, she searched the sea for treasures to find. One day, while swimming near a coral bed, she spotted something shiny up ahead. A golden shell, glowing bright and clear. Olive knew it was a treasure so dear. With a gentle swoop, she reached her arm, careful not to cause any harm. But the shell was stuck, lodged in tight, so Olive pulled with all her might. Out it popped, with a glittering gleam, more beautiful than Olive could have dreamed. She held it high, her heart full of cheer. This was the treasure she had searched for all year. Back to her cave, she swam with glee, happier than ever, under the sea. She placed the shell in her secret spot, her favorite treasure in her underwater lot. Benny the bunny hopped out of his bed. The stars were twinkling high overhead. "I wonder what's up there so far and bright. Maybe I'll hop to the stars tonight." He bounced through the meadow, soft and green. The moonlight cast a magical sheen. Along the way, he met Owl in a tree. "Owl, will you come and explore with me?" Owl spread her wings. "Let's fly up high. We'll soar together through the midnight sky." With a flap and a hop, they took to the air. The world below seemed small and rare. They soared past the stars, twinkling bright, everything glowing in the soft moonlight. They giggled and twirled in the cool night breeze, dancing with stars and floating with ease. Soon Benny yawned. "It's time for bed. I'll dream of the stars above my head." He waved goodbye to Owl with a smile and hopped to his burrow to rest for a while. Under the sea, where the waters are deep, Whaley, the whale, woke from her sleep. She swam through the waves, so big and blue, to say goodnight as she always would do. First came Turtle, slow and wise. "Moo, good night," Whaley said with surprise. Turtle waved with a sleepy grin. "Good night, Whaley. The stars are shining in." Next was Dolphin, fast and free. "Moo, good night. Have a swim with me?" Dolphin leaped and splashed around. "Good night, Whaley, where peace is found." Then came Starfish, quiet and bright. "Moo, good night. Rest well tonight." Starfish twinkled, calm and still. "Good night, Whaley. The ocean's so chill." With all her friends tucked in so tight, Whaley whispered, "Good night, good night." She swam to her bed in the ocean floor and drifted to sleep with a gentle snore. Under the sea, where the waters are deep, Whaley, the whale woke from her sleep. She swam through the waves, so big and blue, to say goodnight as she always would do. First came Turtle, slow and wise. "Moo, good night," Whaley said with surprise. Turtle waved with a sleepy grin. "Good night, Whaley, the stars are shining in." Next was Dolphin, fast and free. "Moo, good night, have a swim with me?" Dolphin leaped and splashed around. "Good night, Whaley, where peace is found." Then came Starfish, quiet and bright. "Moo, good night, rest well tonight." Starfish twinkled, calm and still. "Good night, Whaley, the ocean's so chill." With all her friends tucked in so tight, Whaley whispered, "Good night, good night." She swam to her bed in the ocean floor and drifted to sleep with a gentle snore.